UFC Fight Night Strickland versus Hernandez. It got way better towards the end of the night. I was a little concerned in the very early prelims, kind of the pacing, or at least what we were going to expect on the card. We weren't getting as many finishes maybe as we thought, but we kind of really picked up steam, especially once we got to that Costa knockout versus Dan Ige. But holy cow. I mean, Sean Strickland, Anthony Hernandez. Anthony Hernandez more susceptible to damage than we thought, especially to his body. And I made note of that in our initial predictions video, is that he does react to shots, especially to the body. And Sean Strickland did what he does best. He just walks forward. He uses his kicks. You know, if you're grappling, we've kind of learned that if you're a grappler like Anthony Hernandez is, or you want to kind of stand your base against someone who's going to come at you and try and take you down, you need to hurt them to the body. Peter Yan kind of gave us a blueprint of that. It's just working the body of a lot of these grapplers. So what a finish from Sean Strickland. What a build up to the past few days. I mean, tensions were high. You know, you go on at Twitter, people were just losing their minds about media day, you know, some of the pre-fight pressers, and even post, quite shockingly, cutting off Sean Strickland's mic. So I don't know if Paramount is stepping in to clean up more or less I don't even know what to say. I guess some of the media presence that Sean Strickland has, but he was making note that Anthony Hernandez, one of his coaches, was apparently grooming a 14-year-old. And if he is, I hope he gets prosecuted accordingly. That's disgusting. But Sean Strickland, it's a win for some. Some people feel very strongly this fight. It was very polarizing, but we're gonna take the correct prediction for Sean Strickland to win. I predicted him to win by decision. I thought Anthony Hernandez maybe would have bored through some of the shots to the body a little better than I thought. That and Sean Strickland kind of just opened up. You don't really see him open up like that. He hunted down that finish, and it's exciting. And we're probably gonna get Imavov versus Chimaev is my best guess, and then we'll get Sean Strickland title shot. Or we could see something really crazy where they jump over Imavov, give Sean Strickland Hamzat if he's ready for the White House card. I don't think that would happen, but I could be wrong. But let's briefly just go over the rest of the card. As I said, this was, yeah, Carly Giudice pieced up Juliana Miller. I didn't watch this fight. I didn't really care to. It's a unanimous decision for a reason. I don't really have too much to say. Big upset here. Yadier Del Val. Who would have thought that if your opponent actually fights back, you have a chance of losing? The best base for MMA is zestiness, and Jordan Levitt with shots straight to DeVal's ass. Impressive, but zestiness wins again in the UFC. Phil Rowe, Jean-Paul Lebosnoyani. I'm going to get that right eventually. The split decision was a little concerning. Once I was concerned why it was taking so long to get Bruce Buffer to announce the winner, and it felt weird. Everything felt really weird. And once we started reading off the judges, you know, Judge 1 scored it this way, Judge 2, I was like, whoa, this is split. I don't really think there was a definitive second round that Phil Rowe could have arguably won, maybe off of damage, just because Jean Paul wears that damage very well. He wore it, like he was bleeding, he was cut. I don't know, but he came in, did what most people thought he would. Phil Rowe, another loss. Brahimaj Soriano, this one was okay. I chose Brahimaj. Frank in our prediction video chose Soriano. This fight was okay. I mean, there's a couple grappling exchanges where Brahimaj was trying to, you know, work that submission, kind of work his head, but Soriano really kind of put the pace on him, used some shots, kind of had Brahimaj moving back, getting him up to the fence, and then we're, you know, stalling time on the fence, smudging, whatever. Jocelyn Edwards, huge finish here. This was actually pretty exciting. I thought she came out very slow. I don't know. Yeah, I just thought it started very slow, but then Edwards kind of used her strength to do exactly what she needed to get Cornwall on the ground and get the finish. Not really too much to say here. Olden Carrera, Luis Garul. Luis Garul just getting countered, getting punched up a lot. Alden Carrera, solid win. I don't really have too much to say. Like we got there's a lot of decisions here, and that's kind of why I mentioned the pacing of this card was very, very concerning. Ode Osborne, Alabai Adiris. I don't know why Alabai Adiris was only a minus 138 favorite. Showed he dominated the fight. I mean, there really wasn't a moment where Ode Osborne looked like he could, you know, turn fighter. He needed the finish in the third round. I'm glad his coaches told him like, hey, we need a finish now. Like if you don't, you're gonna lose. That's exactly what happened. He didn't get to finish. Albai Adiris, pretty solid win. A lot of big shots coming from both sides, but Adiris really wore the damage well. Not too much to say. Chidi Njokuani, Carlos Leal. I think someone needs to tell Chidi Njokuani that he doesn't have to just keep backing up. And Carlos Leal entered his void. I mean, he had Njokuani with his back up against the fence. And Carlos Leal, being much shorter, was able to make sure that Chidi Njokuani wasn't able to use his length to his advantage and kind of eat those shots. But they were both throwing. This fight was fun. This fight was really, really fun. I thought there was a point where someone was going to get finished, but Njokuani just eating big shots. Carlos Leal eating big shots. Hope to see back both of them fighting again pretty soon. I enjoyed that one. Good for Carlos Leal. On to the main card. Zachary Reese. We got to stop fouling. Yeah, we got to stop fouling. This fight was, I kind of tuned in and out. I was at my friend's birthday party. I was kind of glancing at my phone. I see the low blow one. Okay, we'll take the time, recover. Michael Pereira comes back in. Low blow number 2. Okay, it seems a little much, and then you get a little eye poke there later in the fight. Split decision. This one was a little controversial to some people. I personally think Zachary Reese won it. I'm glad to see Michelle Pereira back in the win column, but Zachary Reese, I think there's some improvement that has to be made, but you're going against a veteran of the sport. You need a loss almost to tell you exactly what you need to improve on. Kind of like Peyton Talbot. I mean, he's a very young prospect, and yeah, he loses, and he was like a minus 600 favorite, whatever. You want your young prospects to go against a veteran of the sport, get an L in the loss column, figure out where can I improve, and then hope that they actually make improvements that are necessary. So I hope Zachary Reese can at least come back, make the improvements that are necessary to compete at middleweight, and yeah, let's stop kicking people's nuts. That's something I hope he works on his next camp. Jacob Smith, Josiah Harrell. This is exactly how I predicted. You go back in my video, I said most likely we are going to get a ground and pound finish. He's going to use his strength to get you down, and that's exactly what he did. Utilized his grappling, showed strength, showed levels to Josiah Harrell. Yeah, I have nothing else to say. He did exactly what he needed to do. I predicted it perfectly. Sergey Spivak, Ante Elijah. I was wrong. I'd like to apologize. I thought this would have ended in the first round. I really did. It's heavyweight. A lot of fluke ones. This one was kind of odd. At least they didn't gas out like badly. Now we're not getting like a Teixeira just kind of slugging around, in the third, like, oh, we should have finished this in the first. Tai Tuivasa is also struggling. I didn't feel any kind of way. It was just not exciting. It was a good fight. I was wrong, as I said. Thought it was going to end in the first round. It was whatever. But Sergey Spivak back in the win column. Hopefully you can get some momentum. Get ready for the next step. Dan Ige versus Costa. Wow. This one was crazy. I did not expect this kind of knockout either. First guy to finish Dan Ige. Costa looked really, really good. That spinning heel kick was nuts. I personally had Costa winning by decision. I thought maybe Dan Ige could have, kept it a little closer, stuffing takedowns, making this a decision win, really making Costa work for it. But he just got caught bad. I mean, that kick looked like it was coming in low, and then it comes up high, hits him square in the face. I mean, nasty knockout. Costa keeping things exciting. That is exactly what we want to see, especially at featherweight. Getting finishes at featherweight is always exciting. These guys move quick. Sometimes they hit very hard. So, Costa, let's keep the momentum going. That was really fun. Can't wait to see him in the next fight. Jeff Neal versus Uros Medic. Oh, man. I had Uros Medic winning by knockout. That's exactly what happened. Jeff Neal just got caught bad. And we're gonna have to start having conversations of how much more damage can Jeff Neal keep taking. I mean, his chin is unlocked. That's 2 back-to-back KO losses. I mean, hard. Like, he was down. It was really hard to see. Jeff Neal, I love you, man. Hope you can heal up, get ready for your next fight camp. Take some time off, heal up. Coming off of 2 back-to-back knockout losses, it's always pretty hard, but good for Uros Medic. It's good for me. Good for me as well. That was one of my big hits this weekend. Uros Medic. Let's keep the momentum going at welterweight. I'm interested to see who fights next. Then Sean Strickland, Anthony Hernandez. Talked about at the start of the video. Sean Strickland, welcome back to the win column. We'll see what they do with you. I don't think they give him a title shot against Chimaev just yet, but if we get to the point where the White House card doesn't have something huge, like a really, really big fight, there's an argument to be made that Sean jumps over Imavov just for entertainment purposes, just to sell, just to bring people in. I mean, a very polarizing figure, and a lot of people do want to see him lose. There's a lot of people who want to see him win, too. We'll have to see. But Sean Strickland, if they don't have anything for White House card, something big, I think they could get Khamzat Chimaev there. But I'm sure, I don't know how you get, especially with this, the Chechnyan ties to the warlord for Chimaev. I don't know exactly how that would work if it's at the White House for security purposes. I don't know. I'm sure they would find a workaround, but overall, I'd give this card a solid 6. 6.5 to 6. I mean, it picked up. The main event showed out, the co-main event showed out, and then the featured fight showed out. Those last 3 fights were big. And yeah, let's see how many finishes we got in total. This card. Yeah. 1, had 2, and then 3, 4, and 5. So 5 finishes total. Pretty good percentage. Hopefully, hopefully we get to see a lot of these fighters off of wins back pretty soon. The second half of the year. And then I do want to make one note quickly for this next card. This card sucks. I'm sorry. I don't know how to feel. Maybe I need to watch a little more, but there really is not a lot of name power on this card. One thing I am interested, though, to see is this Chito Vera versus David Martinez. Chito Vera has been letting me down a lot. I'm gonna keep my predictions for the next video, but hopefully you enjoyed the prediction video. Hopefully we can get back into a little more exciting cards here soon. We're gonna be getting ready for Charles Oliveira here very, very soon versus Max Holloway. That is going to be a fun video. And I hope you guys continue to watch and stay tuned. Thank you so much for your time, your patience, your love, your energy, everything you give, and we'll see you in the next video.